Hello, everyone. This is Holly Massaro. She is going to be playing Missy Rodgers in Charlie Loves Daisy. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Hi, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Okay, so we're going to be interviewing Holly here, asking her a few questions to get to know her a little better, as well as talking about the film a little bit more.
Perfect.
All right, and let's begin. All right, so the first question is, when did you know that you wanted to be an actress?
Forever. I remember saying it when I was 5. I remember telling my parents I would watch shows. Probably I shouldn't watch, like, Saturday Night Live when it first came out and everything. I was staying up way too late. But I would let them know, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Mm-hmm,
and I knew we weren't in a location, and back in the day it was like, how do you do those things?
Right.
It's not at your fingertips like it is kind of now, where you have an opportunity to audition or contact somebody. It wasn't like that then. But I knew. I grew up watching a lot of the they were up and coming at the time, like Robin Williams and George Carlin and Eddie Murphy, and I was watching Benny Hill. Like I said, shouldn't have watched some of the things, I'm sure, when I was that little, but I just saw that comedy and I went, I gotta do that. Then I would watch, dramas and things like with De Niro in it and go, I want to do that. So I knew I wanted to be in this and I wanted to do something, and I just needed to figure out where I fit into it all. So absolutely. I figured it out.
Yeah, you did.
That's what I went on.
That's good. All right. And then, okay, let's see. And what was your first production that you starred in?
Well, I did, they used to call them follies when I was younger, in school. Those are things that you kind of get you a little bit ready for that. And when I was a little older in my 20s, I did theater. I did one of my memorable ones, one of the early ones. I can't remember what my first one was, but Tony and Tina's Wedding I did.
Okay.
And we ran that for about a year and a half at different venues, and that was a great production because I got to use improv as well as a script.
Oh,
so improv was
yeah.
something that I was into at the time, and I had been doing little things with that and building, some type of a craft around that. Okay. So that was fun. And I did a couple, day player gigs on a couple independent films that were local. And I did a little improv, tried stand up. I dipped my hands in everything because I wanted to know, like I said, where I fit in and what felt right and what felt good. And lo and behold, it all did. So, so I just keep on keeping on.
Absolutely. So is there any productions, any films that the audience can find you in, like available, or are these like?
I doubt it. When I did 2 in the 90s for a local production company. It was a media company locally here, and they were working titles, and I probably didn't even have a name.
Okay.
and I was part of a scene, maybe had a line or two. So, and back in the day, I don't think a lot of that was out. Like you couldn't.
Yeah.
And then they more than likely was like, we'll give you credit or whatever, and then you wouldn't.
I don't even know if I got credit.
Yeah.
Back then, you didn't think of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was that IMDb. I don't know. So, but I had a good time doing theater, and I did a few commercials locally. So, felt good about that, and don't know where those are, but hey, new day.
Right. I get it. They're gonna find you. They will find you. Like it will be brought up. It will be brought up as soon as possible. As soon as this comes out, they're like,
oh, honestly, good luck. I don't know where they're at. They weren't significant roles, but anyways, at least the theater that they did. I was proud of the whatever work I did, and then I took a hiatus from it all, and recently had gotten back into it, in which led me here.
Awesome.
And to a couple projects underway. So.
Okay, that's good. Getting work. All right. And then what are your top 5 movies?
Well, Goodfellas, hands down. I've seen it so many times. I would just watch it on repeat. Just love it. Anything Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, Maid. I don't know if you heard of Maid. It was from like 2001, and Jon Favreau. It was a Jon Favreau movie. Him and Vince Vaughn. It was a good movie. I like independent films, so it was kind of along those lines. Dinner Rush was really good with Danny Aiello. Dinner Rush was great. Another kind of independent film. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Okay.
Love old monster movies. Old monster movies were just ridiculous and great at the same time.
Yeah, I got a thing, and I would tell you, off this camera here, you talking about monster movies. I have something in Trey knows I have something in the works, so I could discuss that with you off of this camera here.
Yeah,
would love to. Yeah, and I don't know how many I named, but American Werewolf in London. That was a great one.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite. That's my go-to every Halloween time. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
And that was 5. Okay. What top 5 people do you want to work with?
Not in any particular order of importance, or who first, but Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve,
that would be fun.
I've been watching him since the early '90s, and just what he can do, and he's a great director too. So
yeah,
I would say Jermaine Clements, because I'm a huge Flight of the Conchords fan. I don't know if you've ever heard of Flight of the Conchords, the 2 comedy.
I've heard of it.
Guys from New Zealand. Oh, so great. And he actually made What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
he created that movie back in like 2014, and then he created the series. So I'm a huge fan of his. I'd like to work with him. Edie Falco. Love to work with her. I'm a big Sopranos fan too. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I would like to work with her. I think she is just a slick writer. She's slick with comedy.
Okay.
When you mentioned Goodfellas, I'm shocked you didn't mention Godfather. I know that's everybody, huh?
It probably would have came up if I would have kept going.
Yeah.
Godfather 2. Yeah. The first one was good, but that second one was the best.
Yeah, that's what everyone said.
I think the most memorable scene out of the first one is James Caan's death. Like that, where he got shot up to pieces.
Is that the guy that? No, but I've been hearing lately. I gotta watch him. I know it's been on since I was a kid. I was just terrified to watch him.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to. Trust me. Nobody's mom would have their kids sit down and watch The Godfather.
Well, my mom forced me to watch Chucky so I can get over my fear at an early age, and my grandmother cussed her out. Rest in peace. She cussed her out for making me watch Chucky, and that's child's play. For people who don't know what Chucky is, it's called Child's Play on the title for the movie. But
I remember going to the movies to see Chucky. And I was a little older at the time. But it's so funny the difference in eras, because in the 70s and 80s, people didn't look at it like, you can't watch that.
Yeah, they're just like, here, watch it and leave us alone. We're going now.
Either watch it and leave us alone, or watch it, oops, there's something, close your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes,
cover your ears, something like that. So it wasn't it wasn't where we couldn't watch it, or if they knew we were watching it, like Benny Hill was on at night, they might have been sleeping.
Exactly, and they just turned the TV on. Oh my god. Okay, and then favorite genre of movies.
I'm not going to say I have a favorite. I'm going to say I have a different favorite for my mood. I mean, I do love suspense and thriller, but I love comedy too. And sometimes I need a good movie that I need to cry to. So I don't think I have a favorite genre. I think it's just conditional to the situation.
Right. Okay. I like that.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. And then how did you find out about Charlie Loves Daisy? That's what we're asking.
Just through Ohio Film Facebook. I saw the posting and went, I like the log line. Let's see where this goes. And so I'm like, it was a goal of mine to get into a film this year. I volunteer at Playhouse Square in Cleveland, and they do the Cleveland Film Festival every year. They host it.
Yeah.
And I'd see these short films, and I'm like, I got to get back in this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you. You're giving me the opportunity to get back in this.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. And then my personal favorite question, because I just like getting everybody's opinion. So what was your initial reaction to the Charlie Loves Daisy script?
Well, first, the sides that I was sent, I liked. Mm-hmm. That was what made me want to, further, audition for this, because you sent out smart sides.
Yes.
They made you see the character, but not give anything away.
Right.
So it was an easier flow to it. And then when I read the script, I'm like, I got to get on this. And I was already in on it. Obviously, you weren't sending the script if I wasn't, but I'm like, I can't wait to do this. And I was so excited when you had called. And it was a character I actually wanted.
Did you really?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I was torn with both, but I was like, no, I gravitated to it. But then I read the script and I'm like, you know what, this is smart writing. Sometimes, and especially you're putting it in an era that I know a lot about, but it's definitely going to be fun for me to be a different age in that era.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think you'll do it in a smart way, not to like. It doesn't look like it centers around it's 1984. Like some make something that's the whole thing about it.
Yes.
Is the year.
Yeah.
You forget what year it was.
Right. Yes.
Because you're reading the script and going, this is good. Mm-hmm. This is good. Yeah. I read it and went, could go, but went this way. It had like a little bit of a. I can't give it away, but I'll tell you later on what I meant by that. But no, I just thought it was great, and then once you go to the table read, then you have like it puts a different perspective on it. You're listening to the voices of the actors, portraying these characters, and you're dialoguing with the person that you're going to be in scenes with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though you're like on the other side of the room, it doesn't matter. You're at least hearing voices to these characters. And then, nothing's real until you get there and you go, okay, now you're face to face and you're actually in it, and you can know your lines all you want. But once you're, once you're there and you're in it, I think it's easier. I think it's easier once you're in that moment. Yeah. To really just suspend, remember what's the number one rule of an actor? Suspend your reality, and so you can easily do that once you're there in the scene. So I'm really excited. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did, because it was crazy. Because when we got there, in my head, I was just like, "Is this real? Like, we actually got this together?" Because I've tried plenty of times, like with different like little short films and stuff, and it didn't work out. And that was like in my early 20s, but. Like, when I seen, like, you guys all there before we got there, and only by, like, a couple minutes, we were a couple minutes late, but I was just like, oh, my God, this is really happening. And I'm like, I just know that my grandmother was just, like, screaming for me from, like, heaven. Yes, it's like, you got this, baby. Go ahead. You got this.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. And like, when, and specifically, and even Caden had said this, there was a part in the table read where it was, I think you and David were being, that you were talking to the detectives, and there was one part where you and it was, I think at this point it was a mistake, but the way you and David did it, where you guys interrupted each other, you went in and he was so. It was
I overlapped
beautiful.
him.
It was beautiful, and I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna we need that in the, because you guys did so. I think you probably know where I'm talking about.
I do
Yeah.
actually. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I overlapped them.
Yeah.
On one thing instead of waiting for.
Yeah.
Like it was that last millisecond.
Mm-hmm. And it blended so well, and like even Caden was like, "Man, that was great." I was like, "Yeah, that really needs to go into the actual final product." But yeah, like seeing everybody there and like getting everybody to like come together and read. It was amazing, and it really made me realize that we did such a great job casting you guys, and how well everybody is going to work together on this and just make it something that we can all be proud of, and
oh, for sure.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great. Yeah. It's gonna be really great.
Super excited about it. I hope it catapults you to where you want to be in the industry, and everybody. I hope it really paves the path for everybody to just get more film or commercial or crew work. I always looked at it this way: if I didn't get a role in something and I really had a passion for it and I really wanted to do it, I always raise my hand and say, "Do you need help with anything else?"
That's funny,
and I've done that. I became a production assistant, before, because if you don't have sour grapes over not getting it, feel bad. Yeah, we feel bad.
Right.
But if you really have a passion for that project, or you really want involved in some way, then you just ask if you need help. It was kind of like with theater. I stage managed. I did backstage work, wardrobe, props, whatever, and assistant director, whatever. If I felt like it wasn't a show I wanted to be in, or maybe if I auditioned and I didn't get a role, where can you put me in? Right. Where can I help you?
Yeah, that's...
And I think that's essential, because it's all a learning process, no matter what side of the camera you're on.
Yeah.
But so it makes you well-rounded too, and I really very impressed with how you two collaborate, and your communication with the entire cast was a great experience. I appreciate that. Oh. I appreciate that. It made you feel like it was going to be a great experience through this whole project. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you. Thank you. And that is funny that you mentioned about how if you weren't going to be able to be in the picture, that you would you would do whatever, something else. And that's funny, because that actually happened with somebody.
Okay.
She actually auditioned for April and Missy, and we went in the different direction, but she was also like, hey, well, I do hair and makeup, and so we actually hired her to be and we'll get her in an interview. We'll do an interview with her too.
And it's crazy because also, like, we thought she got our email about like seeing if she could do hair and makeup, because we knew about it the day of auditions. So we reached out to her, but some odd reason the email didn't send, and she emailed us back 2 weeks before the table read happened. And we're like, oh, thank God. And she's like, hey, just checking to see. I don't know if I got cast or anything, but let me know if I can help out or whatever. And we're like, oh, we sent you an email, so we had to resend it again. We were happy that she sent it back. And I was like, oh my God.
What luck that she just, was smart enough to follow up.
Yeah.
And you're not being a pest when you follow up. You follow up, and you see how it goes. If they don't need you, they don't need you. But hey, you put it out there, and you tried. So that's great for her. That is fantastic for her. Yeah.
So then that actually concludes the interview. At the end of each interview, I usually ask everyone, and they don't have to if they can, or if they don't have anything, it's fine. But I ask, is there anything that you wanted to plug for the watchers at home?
Sure.
Okay.
I do. this movie, and for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Charlie loves
um,
Daisy.
and there is a new production, a theater company called Starcatcher Theatricals that just started up this year. It's their inaugural year, and they just had their inaugural play. And I will be in their second play in August, and it's in Akron. And so check out Starcatcher Theatricals, their website. Okay. And I also am a supernumerary for the Pittsburgh Opera, so I'll be doing a little extra work there. You know, background actor. I'm not going to be singing opera to everyone's delight. I will not be singing opera, but I think opera is just mega cool and so stylistic and just beautiful that I'm really excited to do that sometime this fall. So
awesome.
That's all I get.
Well, we will for sure put all of that information for you guys at the bottom in the description. Is there anything else? One final thing that you want to tell the audience?
So I cannot wait for everybody to see this movie, and I'm honored that I was chosen to be in it, and I hope it brings us all some success. I really do.
Absolutely. Me too. Thank you.
All
right. So this has been Holly Massaro. She, again, is playing Missy Rodgers in the upcoming film, Charlie Loves Daisy. Thank you very much, Holly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.